What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for being here. This is the spot where I love to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I'm into. That includes things like movies, comic books, TV shows, video games, and yes, Survivor. I'm a big Survivor fan, and I've got lots of videos on my channel about Survivor, and we've been talking a lot about Season 40, Winners at War. And right now, I want to talk a little bit more about Season 40, Winners at War. But instead of talking about who's been cast, who's on what tribe, instead of talking about who I think is going to win, who I think is going to get voted out first, right now I want to talk about who is not on Survivor Season 40. Yes, because there's been 39 seasons of Survivor. Some really great seasons, like fans versus favorites and heroes versus villains. Some really bad seasons. I'm looking at you, Island of the Idols. Bad. But there has been 39 winners. Really 38 winners, because Sanders won twice. So there's been 38 winners, and only 20 get to play in Winners at War. That means that 18 people who have won this game are not getting a chance to battle it out in Winners at War. So I've ranked the top 10 people that I think got snubbed for Winners at War. And yeah, there's some people in Winners at War that I would rather see other players. You know, I'm not a big Michelle Fitzgerald fan, or a Danny Boatwright fan, or Nick Wilson, or Adam Klein, or I'm not even that big of a Ben fan. You know, there are players that I believe should have been chose over some of these other guys. But that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I bet for me not liking Michelle Fitzgerald or Adam Klein or Nick Wilson, I bet that there's 20 people who love them. And that's great. That's great, and that's fantastic. This is just my point of view. This is how I feel about it. So let's talk about those top 10 people that I think got snubbed for Winners at War. Number 10 is Earl Cole from Fiji. Yeah, you know, I don't think he was the best winner, but he was entertaining. He was entertaining to watch, and I had a pretty easy time rooting for Earl. I don't think his strategy was the best, but I do think he was very likable, and he was somebody who was easy to root for. So for me, Earl gets that 10 spot, and he's definitely the kind of the weakest choice out of my top 10 snubs. But he's in there at number 10. Number 9. Number 9 is Todd Herzog from China. This is somebody who was a super strategic player. Somebody who I think could have had a decent shot at doing well against a tribe, two tribes full of winners, right? Todd Herzog had the strategic capability to compete with the best of the best. Problem is, his personal life kind of fell apart after Survivor. Got involved in alcohol, became an alcoholic. This has all been very well documented. You know, he even had that guest spot on Dr. Phil. Now, I had heard that he's kind of turned things around and he's in a much better spot now. And that is the number one most important thing, that he's in a better spot now and that he's healthy. But it would have still been cool to see him back, because he was such a strong player. But maybe he couldn't come back. Maybe the stress and the rigor of Survivor would have just been too much. And, something like that might have, upon getting home, it might have been like a catalyst that could have set him, caused him to jump off the wagon again. I don't know. But nonetheless, it would have been cool to see Todd back. I wanted to throw him some love on that. Number 8. Number 8 is probably one that's going to be on nobody else's list, but Chris Doherty from Vanuatu. I like Chris. There's a reason I like Chris, because he is from my town. my little section of the United States of America is where Chris is from. He's from a town over. But in this little section of America, all the towns are kind of together. Like like you have my town, then you have that town, then you have that town, then you have that town. But they all know each other because it's so small. So yeah, I was rooting for Chris Doherty hardcore, because it said, what did it say? Road worker from the town that he was from, and I was like, yes, go you, because you are one of me. So I really like Chris, and Chris showed a lot of resilience, going up against that all women's alliance and surviving when he was dead to rights. So yeah, I like Chris a lot. Number seven is Mike Holloway from Worlds Apart. How is he not on this season? I think like Chris, Todd, Earl, I can see why they're not on. Honestly, I can. How is Mike not on this season? Mike is a snub. He's a new school player, played hard, went on a great challenge run, had a good strategic mind about him, and he's just somebody that played hard. And that's what I always say. I don't care if you're a hero. I don't care if you're a villain. I don't care what your storyline is. I want you to play hard. And Mike played hard. So I was really disappointed that Mike wasn't a part of the season. Now, I've read things online that he was selected at one point, and then for whatever reason, either CBS or Mike Holloway, somebody backed out. At least that's rumors that I've read online. I don't know how much validity there is to that. But yeah, Mike Holloway is somebody who should have been on this season. So he's number 7 for me. Number 6, Jenna Morasca from the Amazon. And so number 1, iconic player. Everybody knows about Jenna's history with Survivor, including her stint on All Stars, where she finished 5th, but she quit. And she quit. You see, I understand that Survivor has this blanket rule where if you quit, you're never allowed back. I get it. They have to have that rule. That's a good rule. But I think there's a difference between somebody quitting like Austin and somebody quitting like Jenna. There's a difference between somebody quitting who can't hack it, or maybe they're on the bottom of the numbers and they're depressed and they want to leave. Whatever the case may be, there's a difference between that and Jenna's situation, because Jenna left because her mom was sick and she was afraid she was going to miss out on her mom passing away. That she wanted to be there for her mom. She wanted to be there as a moral support for her mom and her family, and I get it, and that's not the same. It's not the same as Austin quitting or any of the other people who quit because they couldn't hack it. So I understand the blanket rule. I think an exception should be made for Jenna. And honestly, somebody like Terry. Did Terry Dietz quit in Second Chance? I don't think so. That wasn't a quit. So, yeah. Jenna, I believe an exception should be made, and I believe she should have been asked back. So, Jenna was my number 6. Number 5, Tom Westman from Palau. And he's one of the all-time great winners, one of the all-time popular winners. Everybody loved Tom in Palau. Everybody was rooting for Tom in Palau. Everybody was super happy when he won Palau. Now, my guess is that he didn't want to come back. It's just a guess. I don't know the guy. But my guess is he didn't want to come back because he had kind of a bad experience in Heroes vs. Villains, and he got to kind of see the nastier side of Survivor. His experience in Survivor Palau is a unique experience because Survivor can be a very duplicitous game. Had trouble getting that one out. Survivor can be a very complex game. How's that? A complex game that involves backstabbing. And he got to experience that firsthand in Heroes vs. Villains, and he is a person of high moral character. And just from everything I know about him, he's a person of high moral character, and I can see how maybe Heroes vs. Villains left a bad taste in his mouth, and maybe he didn't want to come back. And that's kind of my guess with Tom. I believe that Tom would have probably been... I believe that CBS had conversations with Tom about Winners at War, and my guess is he said no. But it would have been cool to see him back because he is such an iconic winner. Number 4, JT from Tocantins. So JT is a dummy. We know that. He won Tocantins, and he won off of the strength of being that golden boy, as Fishback called him, I think, in Second Chance. Being that golden boy. Being the good old country boy. He played that character to perfection in Tocantins. Heroes vs. Villains, he came and tried to make some very big moves, like the love letter to Russell. Second Chance came back, tried to make some very big moves. Neither Heroes vs. Villains nor Tocantins it wasn't Second Chance, was it? It was Game Changers. So neither in Game Changers nor Heroes vs. Villains things worked out for JT. But here's the thing. He was playing hard. He was playing hard in Heroes vs. Villains. He was playing hard in Game Changers. Neither one worked out for him. But that doesn't mean that he wasn't playing hard. And I love players who play. I love players who play hard. I'd have liked to see JT back. He's my number 4. Number 3 is Tina Wesson from Australia, our first female winner. But she's somebody who has played a few times now. You know, she came back in All-Stars, was the first one voted out of All-Stars. She came back in Blood vs. Water, and she had a very good run in Blood vs. Water. If you'll remember, she made it very far in Blood vs. Water. So this is somebody that I think still has it. Blood vs. Water wasn't that long ago. It's been a few years now, believe it or not, but it wasn't that long ago. So Tina's somebody that I think still has it. For whatever reason, they decided not to bring her back. I'd have liked to have seen her play again over somebody like Michelle or Danny. Number two, according to rumors, he was asked and he said no, but by golly, it would have been cool to see him back, and that's John Cochran. I would have loved to have seen Cochran play in Winners at War. He's somebody who should be here because he's such an iconic player. He is part of the fabric of Survivor now. Every Survivor fan knows John Cochran. And yeah, I get it. I get why he decided not to come back. He has nothing left in his Survivor closet to prove. He's accomplished everything that he wanted to accomplish, and now he has this fantastic career. And I get why he doesn't want to come back. But John, it would have been cool. It would have been cool. No hate, but it would have been cool. So he's my number 2. Number 1, I'm sure everybody can guess who my number 1 is. That's Richard Hatch. The person that I would have most liked to have seen in this mix of Winners at War was Richard Hatch. Take out Adam Klein, take out Nick Wilson, take out one of the other male players. Richard Hatch he invented Survivor. Yeah, CBS, Mark Burnett, Jeff Probst, they all invented Survivor. I get it. But Richard Hatch invented Survivor gameplay. He came up with the idea of alliances. He is the one who decided how Survivor was going to be played. You know, a lot of people have since evolved the game, changed the game. They made a whole season about it called Game Changer. So people have since changed the game and evolved the way the game is played. But Richard Hatch invented the way this game is played. And he got awarded $1 million for it. So I was really bummed that Hatch was not a part of this season. Really, serious, I was really bummed. I was so excited when I heard that they were going to do Winners at War of seeing Hatch play again. Now, there is some question as to should he play again, given his behavior in All-Stars when he was voted out 5th. And, you know, his behavior with Sue and running the challenge naked and all that. I believe that you can never put an excuse on inappropriate behavior. You can never do that. What Rich did was inappropriate, but it was also a different time. It was a different time when All Stars aired. And people, for right or wrong, I'm not saying that people were wrong for being too sensitive for being sensitive to this sort of thing, but people are sensitive to this sort of thing now. CBS could never let Rich run a challenge naked now. They could never do it because people are sensitive to that now. And it's something that is important. Yes, it's important. It's important that people are sensitive to that. But it was a different time. I believe that Rich is a smart enough guy that he would not behave in a way that was not culturally appropriate, in a way that CBS did not deem appropriate. So all that being said, Island of the Idols, I'm looking at you. If you're the reason that Rich did not get asked back to this season, I hate you even more. I hate you even more, Island of the Idols. You are my least favorite season of Survivor because I felt so icky watching you all season long. I felt so icky and so dirty and so bad watching you. It was a bad experience. And if you're the reason that Rich was not asked back, then I hate you even more. Island of the Idols. But Rich is my number 1 that I'd like to have seen back because I just love watching Rich play. Guys, he got bit by a shark. Granted, it was just a nurse shark, but he got bit by a shark. He bit its head. Rich is he's so entertaining. He's so entertaining. I'd have loved to have seen him back. Wish he was there. But instead we get Adam Klein and Nick Wilson. I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Who would you like to have seen in Winners at War who wasn't on the cast? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here, where we talk about all the geeky, all the nerdy stuff we love to talk about, including our favorite show, Survivor. Thanks a lot, guys.